Welcome back, YouTube. How's all the beautiful people? Well, look at here. We have a 1990-ish model. Come on, focus, man. Yeah. Easy go, two-stroke golf cart. Customer called and said, "Hey, I've got this golf cart. Beginning of the summer, last summer, it ran one day, and the next day I went out there to get on it and drive it. Would not start." She said my son looked into it and said there was no compression. Well, she was concerned that maybe it ran out of oil and she burned it up, but did a compression test on it. Sure enough, it's got like 35 pounds. Squirted gas in there, nothing. It does have spark. But what I did find was this, sell that oil down there. The oil injection system works great, obviously, but it has if you look close, you'll see it down there, but it has oil running out of the crankcase, so there's a gasket. Head gasket appears to be fine, but where the cylinder mates to the crank, that gasket, see that separation there right behind that idler or that pulley, that primary, that gasket on the front side is blown, which, if you know what a two-stroke, the difference between a 2 and a 4, this two-stroke requires the crankcase to be sealed for compression to happen. The oil and the gas goes in through the crank, or circulates through the crankcase, and then it comes back up into the cylinder for combustion. So if the crankcase does not hold pressure, then it will not create enough compression to ignite. So we are getting fuel. The plug's wet every time I pull it out. It's just not got compression. So it's not going to be convenient. I've got this inside on the lift, and there's just not a lot of room to set up a camera. I will try to get it set up in such a way that you guys can watch me tear this apart, and we'll see what we find. But I suspect that all I need to do is either replace or reseal that gasket. I'm going to attempt to just use RTV. Hopefully I can get it looks like I can leave the head together just looking at it. It's going to take some doing, but leave the head and one onto the cylinder and just pull the cylinder and seal it that way, because the head gasket is fine. It doesn't have a replacement. So that's going to be the task, and I'll set you guys up and we will start tearing this thing apart. Okay, I got some of the layers peeled back on it. I'm still undecided as to whether or not I'm going to be able to leave the head and cylinder together, but we'll find out. But look here, see that shiny spot there? You can see it's been leaking and blowing. See all the stalagmites built up? Oh, I can see a chunk of the gasket right there. What am I doing? Hold it. Yeah. Huh. Piece of gasket. And she did say that she'd had this worked on, and judging by the number on the side right there, 249, I would assume this came from a local golf course somewhere, not too terribly far away, but you would think that places like that would maintain their units quite a bit better. But all that's kind of out the window on one of this age. Let me find that placard right there. Can y'all read? Yeah, there you go. Robin engine, model EC25, 3PG, 244 cc's, motor number 90-09788. So, anyways, I will get on the World Wide Web and I'm going to see what some parts for this thing are going to run. Namely just a gasket kit, before I decide whether or not I can leave that head together, because you could see there's no leaking coming from the head. It's all that base gasket. So intake and reed plate are loose. I was not able to move that intake back far enough because all the linkage to pull the reed plate. I kind of want to look at them, but nevertheless, here we are. Let me do some quick research, see what the availability is on a gasket set, namely, like I said, just the base gasket. And if it's not available, it's not available. I'll use RTV, temp RTV. I don't care. And anyways, we'll get this massive leak patched up and yeah, see if we get compression back and see if this thing lives again. So I'll be back. Okay, well, I managed to get all four off, 4 nuts, and in the process dropped one somewhere. Couldn't find it, but anyways, here we go. Come on, brother. Oof, gosh dang, that's heavy. What? Alright, there's the culprit. See it? Busted out right there. All the way around to over here. So nearly half the gasket was Gandhi. And this one back here, on the driver's side rear, if you will, was the only one that was any kind of tight. The rest of them were extremely loose. So at this point, all I'm gonna do, I don't know, I may look at that cylinder and see if what kind of shape it's in, maybe do some honing on it. But she did say she didn't want to spend a ton of money on this, which I don't blame her. Rebuild kit for this was $340 or $350, so we are not going that route. I will. I do see a problem. I don't know if you guys see it. Right there. Looks like the ring is busted. That one's busted, and these rings are supposed to be non-rotational so that they do not contact the ports in the cylinder. Those appear to have fell apart. So I will be getting a hold of her and see if that is something that she wants to do, and we'll go from there. I don't know that she's going to want to spend that kind of money, you know, and that's $350 just in parts. That's not counting labor, but ideally we are here, so it makes the most sense to take that plunge. At any rate, regardless of the course of action, yeah, that is a no way no. Busted out from there to there. That one, yeah, I can pull that. And that one's stuck. Yeah. So, there is a fair bit of left and right, but there's no up and down, so yeah. Okay, well, that's going to be, I guess this is going to be a part 1, assuming that she decides to fix it. If not, I guess that'll be the end of this, because I don't know anybody else that's going to want to put $600 into this thing. So alrighty, thank you for joining in. Please like and sub, and hopefully there's a part 2 for content purposes. But we will see. Catch you guys on the next part.